right, so definitely we shouldn't be that's new to the extended edition trophy. But at this point, we sides in it as well. And then we have the South American sides in this expanded edition of the FIFA Club World Cup. So I have Peter with me. I would ask him, how can he describe this expanded edition of the FIFA Club World Cup? And also, moving away from that, we know the second round of games are set to begin today, where Javier Mascherano, the former that's FC Barcelona defender, and also Argentina under 21 coach, well, he has come out to say that Lionel Messi, who is regarded as the best player in Argentina, well, he has come out to say that Lionel Messi, who is regarded as the best player in Argentina, is fit to play that game just later tonight. We'll talk about their game that's against against FC Porto later today. And so we have other football stories that's on the lineup for us this afternoon. We are talking about qualification also for the UEFA Champions League 2025-2026 season, and then we'll talk about managers also. General Garcia has vowed to restore enthusiasm which has been battered that's in the Italian national team. And then we talk about afternoon. Well, Peter took an headline this morning talking about basketball, that record sale, and then you talk about it, 10 billion. I think that's quite a lot. But together, of course, on the show this afternoon, we will take a look at all of this and ensure that it is a journey ride with us on the show this afternoon. 32 FM 94.9, Scoreboard Reloaded. You're listening to the voice of Oluwatimilei SAMIES on the program this afternoon. Good afternoon, Peter.
Thank you for having me, Sam. It's always a pleasure. Delight to be here with you.
All right, let's start straight from the FIFA Club World Cup. Yes, we know we had the concluding round of games go down yesterday and the early hours of today. But at this point, after all the games that has been played, 44 goals were scored, and then you could tell that one side scored 10 of that 44 goals scored, and that's Bayern Munich in their victory over Auckland City and Club World Cup, or the first round of games. Have you been impressed with the expanded edition of the FIFA Club World Cup? Just like we had the UEFA Champions League, I think we had the new things this season. The expanded edition of the UEFA Champions League, it was new at the point. People grew to like it, to love it. Now, this is the FIFA Club World Cup. Are you impressed with it? Or would you say that this is just giving some certain teams that are pitting them against way superior sides? And then maybe your best game so far at the FIFA Club World Cup, and one team that has been
a couple of years ago. A few folks never love it, maybe till now. Some still have their issues concerning VAR, and I've said it so on a few occasions that the businessmen are in charge of football. So you like VAR, you don't like VAR, they don't care. But with time, we have come to that point where we've all given up that VAR is here to stay, except for this part where we're still trying to ensure we have the technology to ensure that it's VAR in our league. Our league is still way behind the others. Your question has got to do with, have I been impressed? Have I enjoyed it? What's my high and the low point? Again, is what FIFA wants to do. Just like we saw UEFA came up with an expanded version, not the longer group stage of the UEFA Champions League. It's now the league stage of the UEFA Champions League. We saw the first edition last season, and of course, PSG were the champions. With time, again, we'll come to realize that this has come to stay. Even though I said it on this day that I never love it, I never liked it, because you play a team once, you don't get to play the return leg, and so that has been it. For the Club World Cup, do I like it? Yes, of course. And I never struggle with it like I struggle with VAR and struggle with the new format for the UEFA Champions League. FIFA have always wanted to have something similar to the World Cup, but this time at club level. And seeing that a few European teams were putting together the Super League, they knew that it was time for them to get hold of what belongs to them, which is football. And you know, the big sponsors in world football have their name, have their brand attached to FIFA. So I think for FIFA, they were smart to come up with this, because you know they're in charge of football, so they have everything it takes. So for me, I love it, because the smaller teams also get from the pie. It's big. They don't need to eat crumbs. Look at the amount of money you get. Sunday, if they go ahead and win the next game, that's 6 points, which is good enough for them to get into the round of 16. And that is big money for a team like Sundowns, who don't have who don't have the name in the heart, in the ears of the Americans. There must be one of the teams who played that had the lowest turnout of fans come watch the game, because it was Sundowns against a team from South Korea. SAMIES, nobody I've ever heard about those two names. They don't have the support base in the US. But now with that name in the minds of Americans, Sundowns, maybe by the time we get to play the next Club World Cup in 2029, if they're able to qualify, then you see the Americans come out. The brand is not a big brand in the US market and all that. So for me, I think what FIFA have done, I love it, I like it. And the next question has got to do with which of the game was my best. Maybe I already said the game last night between Real and Al-Hilal. Because yes, Al-Hilal, former Saudi Pro League champion, did not win last season. Of course, Al-Ittihad won. But they paraded a squad of players who have tasted European football. A team that played Real well in terms of the touches, in terms of the setup. You have a former Inter Milan coach who was coach of Inter Milan a couple of days ago in charge. You have a team with Brazilians. You have a team with Portuguese. You have a team with Moroccans, with the Senegalese. So they've all tasted European football at the highest level, up against 15-time European champions. So for me, that will have to take the peak to be the best game. Ended 1-1, almost got into a 2-1. Fantastic save from the Moroccan goalkeeper for Al-Hilal. Maybe the worst game for me, if you ask, has got to be the game between Auckland City, the only team in this year's Club World Cup.
That was a big mismatch.
Yes, that was.
These are the things we would see.
It is what FIFA wants. You don't forget also that UEFA, over the years, they've talked about how they want to get the smaller competition final and, of course, the Super League to smaller nations. You see the host for maybe by the UEFA Cup that we saw in Bilbao, Spain is big. But in terms of the Super Cup final, we're going to have in August between Spurs and PSG, they will not take those games to Spain, to England, to Germany. They're taking those games to smaller countries, maybe to Estonia, to Slovakia, to Slovenia, because they want those fans to also see the big teams come play. So there are reasons for FIFA and for UEFA to have this kind of formation in their competition. But like I said the other time, the low point will have to be the game between Bayern and a team that the only team in this year's Club World Cup who have got people who are not professional footballers. And we're going to see them more, because that's the truth. Because they will keep winning the Champions League in that region, because it's only New Zealand and the others. Who are the others? I can begin to call names that you have to go Google and find out who are these ones. Australia is no longer in that region of Oceania. So we're going to see more of the guys from Auckland come to the Club World Cup. But for me, that was, like you said, that was a misfit. But we're going to see more of that. The only club, I repeat, out of the 32 teams in this year's FIFA Club World Cup who don't have professional footballers.
All right. You heard Peter say all of that as regards the CAF. Did I say CAF? That's the FIFA Club World Cup. Well, of course. If you ask me, from those games that I've seen, maybe the one exciting for me happens to be the controller. Let me say I was impressed with Fluminense of Brazil, where they actually gained a dominance and control over Borussia Dortmund, despite the game ending. That's 0-0. And, you talk about, of course, the game with the highest goals. But the big match the match for me so far is Boca Juniors against the Benfica. 2-2.
Yeah.
And I saw, when the Argentines who actually equalized put goals into the back of the Argentine club. They celebrated the goals that they scored. Di Maria and Nicolas Otamendi.
And two Argentines. Why wouldn't they? Because you have to check the base. Di Maria never played for Boca Juniors. It's going back to Rosario, where he began his career in Argentina from. So it's got no hold. It's got no love. It's got nothing for Boca Juniors. It's going to go ahead. Otamendi, I'm not sure if he ever played for Boca Juniors. Maybe if he played for Boca Juniors, he wouldn't have done that celebration. Don't forget also, Sammy, that game produced 3 red cards in that game. So maybe you're also spot on in terms of what you... So a few games, I also picked the game. Yes, you mentioned Boca Juniors and Benfica. And I'm hoping that the second round of games starting later today, Palmeiras will be up against Al-Hilal of Egypt. I want to see how the Egyptians will set up against the Brazilian side. It's going to be a tough one. And if they don't get to win again, I'll put the blame on the Spanish head coach of El Ali and the El Ali team, how they failed to win that opening game against Inter Miami. A game they dominated, a game they had a penalty. And we're here talking about this on Monday, where the penalty. Maybe if they don't qualify for the round of 16, maybe by just a little misfortune, they will go back to that game and say, if only we converted that spot kick against Inter Miami in our first game, we'll be playing in the round of 16.
But they also have Shenawi to thank.
Yeah, of course. Like I said in the tweet I put out after the game, I said it was a game of two halves. A game of two goalkeepers for me who were superior, who decided the course of the game. Ostava for Inter Miami was good on the 9th, saved the penalty, made a good save in the first half. And the second half, it was time for Lionel Messi and the rest of the players to also get close to goal. But Shenawi, the 36-year-old goalkeeper, was on hand also to keep his team in the team. So for those two goalkeepers, they were spotted on the 9th. Tonight is Palmeiras against Al-Ahly.
All right, from the games set to go down tonight, Palmeiras of Brazil against Al-Ahly of Egypt, Inter Miami of America up against Porto by 8 p.m. And then the Seattle Sounders will be up against Atletico de Madrid also later today. And Atletico de Madrid side, in which a lot of people they've not been convinced with also. And then we talk about them losing their philosophy, ideology, and also the lack of identity.
Maybe they will find one tonight against a less fancy Seattle Sundowns.
And so this is what I say about if it happens to be a whitewash. This is also what I say about mismatch.
Well, if they suffer to PSG, their match, that's not a mismatch.
That is not a mismatch.
So if they were hit by 4 in that game, is Cholo Simeone. The other big thing for him is that you must score those goals at plenty. Tonight,
cancel out the goals.
If you are hit with 4 against the European champions, who of course are the best on the continent of Europe, you must go hit these Americans by the same number of goals. You can cancel all of that out. So tonight, I'm hoping that Diego Simeone will come clear for him to qualify, for him to secure the maximum points. Simeone has been complaining, 14 years in charge. It looks like the president and the board at Atletico don't even have anything again in their mind. There's no Cholo Simeone feels so relaxed, so confident that who are you going to play?
Can we say, are they scared of change?
It might be because I've never in 10, 8, 11 years the club talk about somebody coming to replace Cholo Simeone. Never in the news. And he spent 14 years, SAMIES. How many La Liga has he won?
2.
In 14. How many Champions League finals has he gotten into?
Okay, 2.
He has won the UEFA Cup twice. Agreed. He has won the Copa del Rey once or twice also.
Europa League
he has
twice.
won this. Yes, you have to talk about Europa League. He has won the Super Cup. But if you compare the number of awards he has won and the number of years, because every time we go into the La Liga season, we talk about him being the dark horse, him being the one that can stop the mighty Real, the mighty Barca to win. But has he been stopping them? Has he? He hasn't. But he's always confident. And guess what again for me? And I've checked this over and over again. Every season, the last 4 or 5 years, he's got the highest number of playing staff compared to Real and Barca in terms of quality and international players in his rank. If you take a look at Atletico's bench and that of Real and Barca, he's got better players on the bench.
I was about to say that.
But he has never won.
Look at this season. He has Julian Alvarez. He has Antoine Griezmann. He also has
there's Solos in that team. There's Ander Correa also, who's on his way to Mexico now. He's leaving to join the Mexican side, and he's going to get a replacement for him. Certain. You're talking about Samuel Lino is there. There's his. He hasn't played Thomas Lemmer for some time now.
Yeah.
So he's got players in the middle of the park. He still wants to sign more players. Rodrigo De Paul is there. There's Koke who signed a 1 year extended. There's Lorente. There's the former Chelsea player. And you take a look at the back line also. You have them in their numbers. He bought Lenormand from Real Sociedad. There's Clement Langlais who's joining them from Barca after contract was terminated. And you take a look at all of these and you say, what is it doing in Atletico and it's not winning the title?
And he has one of Europe's best
Look
goalkeeper.
At the point difference between as poor as Real were last season, in the concluded season. Look at the point difference between Real and Atletico.
I think they were at par. They just concluded the season at the point. But it was just the flip of the switch.
That's so we wait to see. Again, if he doesn't win this game tonight, I think there should be pressure somewhere for Cholo Simeone. There should be. If he doesn't win this game tonight, if he struggles to even win this, if he's not going to win, if he doesn't win this comfortably, that's not good for him.
All right, and in the early hours of today, of tomorrow. Yeah, Paris Saint-Germain will be up against Botafogo. Of course, the favourites are going into this encounter. But let's leave the FIFA Club World Cup at this point and quickly talk a bit about European football stories. And this is about some transfer stories where Sheffield United and that's Chris Wilder. They have parted ways after a failure to get a promotion back into the top flight of the English Premier League. And now General Gattuso, the new Azzurri's head coach, that's the Italian national team head coach, he vows to restore enthusiasm to battered Italy. Right. Now, is this a thing that Gattuso can bring back into the folds of the Italian national team? Because we've seen him in the time past. Valencia, AC Milan, how did he fare? Was he a winner? And now, this is with the Azzurris.
Okay, maybe those ones were even heavyweights. AC Milan, Valencia, big for him. He has gone down to coach clubs in lesser countries. He didn't succeed. And then he's just busy marrowing everywhere to see where to catch the big one. The big one is here for him now. Azzurris won the World Cup with Azzurris in 2006 in Germany, part of the team, won the Champions League with AC Milan, won the Scudetto. Now he has gotten the job to head at Azzurris. Is it the right call for the Italian national team? For me, is a no. But again, you have to give him a chance and see what he gets to do. Now, still speaking about players who are not getting playing time in the national team of Italy, Federico Chiesa, don't forget, didn't have many playing time with Liverpool, joined them from Juventus Football Club, played season, won the league with Liverpool, but was it integral to the Liverpool side? Is a no. So he has to look for a club side for him to play to get back to the national team. They've played 2 games in the opening game of the World Cup qualifier. They lost 1, they won 1. So for Gattuso, is he the man to help them? Now, talking about men that will help, Florian Wirtz, I'm just hearing now, is on his way to Liverpool. He has to cut short his vacation. He's on his way to Liverpool to have his medicals and sign the papers in the next 24 hours. SAMIES, he will be the most expensive player in the history of Liverpool. And will be heading about...
What about the UK?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, you're right on that. He will be earning about 200,000 British pounds per week, including bonus. Now, still staying about more transfer news that's coming right there. Nico Williams, it's like there's a personal terms agreed between him and Barca, but there's the big one here.
Transfer, salary.
That's about the salary is already sorted. He's already because he wants to join Barca, and the Flick wants him to join, and he's also willing to join Barca. But the problem is, can he be registered as a Barca player? That's the big question here, because they are going to demand for a fee. Bilbao will demand for a fee. Then the question now is, can Barca register him based on the financial situation they are currently at? Don't forget, in the winter, January of this year, they had problem with Dani Olmo. So this one also might come as a big question mark. If they want to sign him, can they register him?
All right, let's talk about Thomas Partey as well. Well, it looks like this man would be out of the Emirates Stadium.
Yeah, it doesn't look like... It's got today's what 19. It's got 11 days. If it doesn't work, it might just
now leave. The question I want to ask is, why do teams allow some of their best legs run down their contracts?
No, you don't say they allow. When you put a deal on the table, the man says he's not going to sign.
But know it's about something better. Peter, a year, 2 years, try pitching your what is it called? Your quota.
Whatever you pitch. If I'm pitching 10 to you, you want 25. What do I get 25 from?
You have all the 2 years to negotiate. Now is at the end of it.
You cannot keep matters on the pitch and discuss matters in the. You have to take one. I think I will always say to you that we'll discuss this. But not only him. Managers always say to you, we'll discuss this at the point in time, because there's so many things. We can't be dealing with only Thomas Partey just because wanting to sign a new deal. But maybe the Gunners also know. That's why they're keeping in touch, everything they can with Martin Zubimendi. 60 million euros, a little bit over that in installments, paid instrumentally. Thomas Partey can work out. Maybe last season, SAMIES was his best. Maybe that was his best. The other season, not 100, but this one, he played right back, played defensive midfield position, one of, if not Arsenal's best midfielders, even though Declan Rice seems to be in the lips of everyone during the latter stage of the season, what he did in the Champions League, how he was able to prepare the Gunners in some of those crucial games. But take nothing away from the Ghanaian, the former Atletico Madrid man. Now, he will be speaking to other clubs in the next 10, 11 days from now. If there's no concrete, if there's no breakthrough in the negotiations between him and Aston Football Club, that means when he returns from his vacation, he will not be heading straight to London. Where will he go to? I don't know. The Saudis definitely, when you talk about players like this, the Saudis, there will be link to that league. So
I guess there's a big offer also coming from Turkey.
So we'll wait to see where in Turkey Premier League will it be. It's 31-32 now. 32. So Arsenal will be saying no resale value. That's where the argument will be. That's what will be on the table. Mommy, we cannot pay you more than this because the Nations Cup. Are they going to the Nations Cup? They're not even going to the Nations Cup. So kind of maybe I just remember now that Black Stars
they are certain. They are certain to be in the US.
Well, wait. US is still everybody will in the US. Unlike the Nations Cup where you have African teams.
Everybody.
When I say everybody, I mean clubs will be football will be on hold. So you cannot say Nations Cup. There will still be the league. Okay. And that's what I meant by everybody. Everybody does not mean everybody.
But that is one thing. Thomas Partey, I think he would have 3 World Cups under his belt. Can you say the same?
No,
about a few Nigerians.
I'm not even going to that.
Okay.
So I'm just saying here that those are the things that Arsenal will be saying. Nations Cup, yeah, we know you will not go, but 31. If you give you a new deal, is it 2 years you want or 1 year option of another 1, 2 option of 3? But bottom line is that there's no resale value for the former Atletico Madrid man. So maybe all of these are the things playing out on the table, but for now it doesn't look good that it will stay. All
right, that's Miles Lewis Kelly, Archsane, Delap. These guys, definitely tell that they are among the players shortlisted for the 2024-25 Men's PFA Young Player of the Year award. Well, Miles Lewis Kelly, and Chelsea's a new striker, Liam Delap, who is wearing the jersey number 9. We also have a Real Madrid defender, that's Dean Argeson, Milos Kekes, Ethan Nwaneri, and Morgan Rogers. All of these guys.
I think maybe just between Miles Lewis Kelly and Morgan Rogers for me. The boy used to Dean Hodgson would have been it, but you know how these things work with defenders. It's always not going in the favor. Yes, I know that Lewis Kelly is a defender.
What about Liam Delap?
No, I don't think.
In a low team like
no. I think if there's anyone who has got the numbers, I have to make a vote now. I'll go for Morgan Rogers for Villa.
Okay. That's Peter going for Morgan Rogers. But we are waiting to see what would be the outcome of that. But then quickly in the world of tennis, there are games going on. That went down just in the early hours of today. There in Germany, where Karen Khachanov defeated Felix Auger-Aliassime. That's 2-1. And then you talk about Koboli defeating Shapovalov, also 2-1. Ezreri defeated Andrei Rublev, 2-1. Thomas Makak defeated Marozan, and that's 2-love. That's 6-2, 6-3. Lorenzo Senego will be up against Alexander Zverev later today. Jannik Sinner also will be up against Alexander Bublik. Jerry Lecheka also defeated Diallo. Fendi defeated